CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Silvana Benelich.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The Alberta Teachers Association and the province are heading back to the bargaining table. Earlier this week, the province issued a lockout notice for ATA members, which kicked in today. The teachers' union says it's focused on getting back to negotiations.
Parents should take this as a good sign that we're having conversations. We know what teachers are looking for and what they are asking in terms of trying to fix the situations that we see in school.
The ATA president, Jason Schilling, saying the discussions that started last Friday helped pave the way for future negotiations. The two sides will sit down again on Tuesday to hash out a deal to get Alberta teachers and students back in the classroom. Schilling says if teachers are eventually forced back to work, it would be under a work-to-rule strike mandate.
What it would mean if we were doing something like that is teachers wouldn't do the work above and beyond what is their normal work to do. So, of course, instruction, marking, supervision, that stuff would be done, but extracurricular activities, clubs, that work would not happen.
The Alberta government says it is hoping the ATA's proposal is reasonable and adequately represents the terms teachers want to see reflected in their deal. The teachers are rallying instead of walking a picket line. An all-out for education rally is set for tomorrow morning near the Walter Tail Bridge. An expert panel tasked with looking at provincial post-secondary funding has delivered its final report. The report makes 11 recommendations to modernize and strengthen the post-secondary system. On the money side, it includes a potential new funding framework, changes to tuition and student aid. Other recommendations are based around international students, institutional autonomy, and making it easier for schools to create new programs to answer demand. The province says it will review the report and engage with Alberta's colleges and universities for feedback and next steps. Some Edmonton pharmacies are already offering COVID-19 shots to those who aren't covered by the province. But as CTV's Connor Hogg reports, early access comes at an extra cost.
It's $100 for a shot that was free for years.
If it's something you really want to do, then I think you should pay for it.
There's so many people that cannot afford the $100.
There's a week and a half to go until Phase 2 of Alberta's COVID vaccine rollout, when the general public can pay the province $100 for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Hi, how you doing? Good.
At Crestwood Apothecary, COVID shots are available now with a catch.
Our wholesalers currently are giving us 5 shots a day, so supply is very limited. Those 5 shots go very, very quickly in the day, so it's until we can get more, a regular supply or a larger supply, it's going to be like that for the next, I imagine, couple of weeks.
Each dose comes with a bill for $155, more expensive than the $100 you would pay the province. Crestwood pharmacist Michael Reese says that's because AHS gets a bulk deal. He says the added cost isn't scaring patients away. Crestwood is getting more requests than it has supply for. Because of that, COVID shots are walk-in only. First come, first served.
People just want to be able to come into the pharmacy, get their shot, and be done with it.
I'm in the position where I do have private coverage, but not everyone else is, so I think it is a little bit tricky in that sense.
Danielle Rouleau just received one of Thursday's 5 doses.
The fact that we are able to get access to the COVID vaccine through our local pharmacy is something that I think is really helpful.
Reese says this year's COVID doses are packaged individually, so there's less wastage than previous years.
Previously it was available in a vial, so if you used 1 dose and you had to waste 4 doses, obviously the wastage was a lot more significant. So yeah, I think the government should definitely look at maybe trying to put the COVID shots back into pharmacies.
If you're interested in getting the jab early, Reese says you should call your local pharmacist and ask if they can order the shot. The general public can start booking shots with the province starting Monday, October 20th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province says almost 35,000 COVID-19 vaccines have been given through its official public health clinics so far this year. Police are narrowing down the area where they think the body of a missing Edmonton teen might be. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on where officers are looking and how the search has evolved.
This is worth our best shot.
That shot is being taken 160 kilometers west of Edmonton. Police say new information in the past 24 hours has led them to this wooded area in the search for Samuel Bird.
A number of pieces of information that have come together in the last week that have caused us to focus on this particular spot.
Police say this investigation is coming together like a puzzle and that new tips and information are helping them get a clearer picture.
You've got all these pieces on the table, and as you work through it, you don't always know what you're looking for and where.
Bird was last seen June 1st in West Edmonton. Police now believe he is dead, his disappearance is criminal, and his remains are hidden. While they've narrowed the search, police say there's still lots of work to be done.
It's a massive area, we'll do our best, but there's no guarantees that we're going to find Samuel here, unfortunately.
Still, officers and other search and rescue teams continue to look.
We're committed to working together to bring this home, whether it's today, tomorrow, this week, or next spring. This is not going away.
Police are asking people living in the Carrot Creek area to keep their eyes open for anything unusual. Police have suspects, but no arrests have been made. Evan Kenny, CTV News.
A 42-year-old man is dead after a shooting in downtown Edmonton last night. Police officers were called to 109th Street and 107 Avenue just before 9 o'clock. When they arrived, they found the man outside a home. He died on scene. The homicide unit is now leading the investigation. No charges have been laid. There is cautious celebration in Gaza and Israel today as the first phase of a peace deal has been agreed to. A pause in 2 years of fighting and hope Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners will soon be exchanged. But as CTV's Heather Wright reports, there's still much that needs to be negotiated.
Standing on top of emergency vehicles, paramedics in Gaza City celebrate the first step toward peace. Honestly, these are indescribable feelings, this man says. We can't believe it. At Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, dancing and singing. Hope that finally the hostages will soon be home.
This is the joy that we are waiting for.
While many important details still need to be ironed out, the first phase of this truce will see all remaining Israeli hostages freed in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians being held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces will also withdraw to an agreed-upon line.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages.
Many questions still remain, with the more contentious elements of a long-term deal yet to be agreed to, including Israeli demands that Hamas disarm and the complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from the enclave.
When they disarm, whether Israel withdraws sufficiently to send a signal to Hamas that they can disarm, those are the questions going forward.
In the meantime, Israel is preparing hospitals to receive the hostages once they are released after more than 730 days in captivity. Palestinians hopeful that once the bombing stops, they can begin to rebuild their lives. A daunting task with an estimated 2 million people displaced, according to the United Nations, and much of the enclave reduced to rubble.
What we need, of course, is humanitarian supplies. We need food, we need water, hygiene, tents, equipment for the winter to support people in this new phase of the response.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the 48 remaining hostages will be released on either Monday or Tuesday, 20 of whom are still believed to be alive. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A Canadian company has won an international award for its online fraud protection software. The Scam Shield Investor Protection Competition was launched last year by the Edmonton Police Service and the Alberta Securities Commission. Vancouver-based Stingray Security beat out more than 30 other submissions to take first place. Its web browser extension identifies unsafe links and blocks threats like online crypto investment scams, phishing websites, and fake investment platforms. Edmonton police say investment scams are one of the most prevalent forms of fraud.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, $310 million was reported lost to investment fraud alone in 2024. This accounts for nearly half of all fraud reported to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre that year.
The Stingray web extension can be found and downloaded online. A string of stolen statues in Edmonton has one community worried about its public artwork. CTV's Gates Warren has more on the thefts and what's being done to prevent them in future.
Guinevere Park in the southwest community of Glastonbury used to feature several prominent deer statues, but recently the statues were stolen. Surveillance footage on the morning of September 20th shows two people lifting the statue up into the back of a red pickup truck and driving away. The theft took just minutes. This is not the first instance of these thefts occurring in the area. Footage from the same camera captured another statue being taken in March. Gary Bohm with the Parkland Neighborhood Residents Association says the statues were what made the park special for residents.
You always see kids around hugging them, having pictures taken on them. So they're very much part of the community, much part of the social part of the community.
Guinevere Park isn't the only area where deer statues were stolen. Just down the road at Park Le Surf, which literally translates to Deer Park, a deer statue was stolen right in this exact spot. Now the association says these statues are anchored down by steel rods, meaning those who stole them went through a lot of trouble to do so.
The thieves actually came. In some cases, they knocked them over. Some, they actually cut the legs off to take them, we assume, for scrap metal.
Bohm says the association made the call to remove remaining statues to keep them safe over the winter, with planning around visibility and future locations before they're brought back into the community.
We're going through a program of seeing what we can do to protect them better and keep them safe when we reinstall them.
Edmonton police are aware of the theft at Guinevere Park, saying they continue to investigate and encourage anyone with information to contact them. Gates Warren, CTV News, Edmonton.
Federal inspectors have determined a natural gas pipeline rupture last year west of Edmonton was caused by a crack in a pipe. In April 2024, a TC Energy pipeline ruptured northwest of Edson. No one was injured, but it did spark a wildfire. The fire did not threaten any communities. The Transportation Safety Board report says pieces of the pipeline were found as far away as 200 meters from the site. The report says pressure had built up on the crack, which caused the rupture. The crack was detected by an inspection 2 years earlier, but was classified as non-reportable. Parks Canada has finished gathering geotechnical data at the site of a deadly rockfall in Banff National Park. In mid-June, 2 hikers were killed and 3 others injured when rocks gave way at the popular Bow Glacier Falls hiking spot. Parks Canada says it will look at the data gathered over the winter. In the meantime, the trail will remain closed with no anticipated reopening date. Officials say it won't be until next year. Parks Canada says it's received no reports of visitors in the closed backcountry area. Anyone who tries to go there could be arrested and fined. Edmonton's food bank hopes a rivalry in the hockey rink will lead to pasta for the people. The Edmonton Oil Kings are supporting the food bank this Thanksgiving weekend with a food drive at the game. The Oil Kings take on the Lethbridge Hurricanes on Monday. They're asking fans to bring pasta, mac and cheese, or any non-perishable food that can be used as a noisemaker. After the game, the food can be donated to Edmonton's food bank. The food bank's executive director says its service is in high demand.
The struggle we're having is that, of course, the numbers of people we're serving is so high that food basically comes in, gets sorted, and it's back out into the community in a very, very short period of time.
40,000 friends, neighbors, and fellow Edmontonians are coming to the Edmonton's Food Bank every month, and we with the Edmonton Oil Kings want to help those people in need. So the partnership is out of need, and Marjorie and Tamazin and everyone here at the Food Bank, they do amazing job. The volunteers, everyone's smiling here as they get the hampers ready for Thanksgiving, and we're so lucky to be able to be part of it.
The Oil Kings have raised more than 4,500 pounds of food and over $2,000 for the food bank during the last 2 Thanksgiving drives. If you forget your pasta, the Oil Kings will be selling some at Monday's game. Cup drop is at noon. Coming up, Edmonton mayoral hopefuls lay out their plans to deal with the hot-button issue of infill housing.
We are sad, we are anxious, stressed, and at times angry, and you don't seem to care.
Good evening, folks. It'll be a warm one tomorrow. Sunshine and temperatures up around 20 degrees here in the Edmonton area, but we are still looking at a big cool down on the way through the Thanksgiving long weekend. We'll get into that in a little more detail in just a few minutes.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Edmonton, wildlife experts flocking to our city for a conference on bats, and Lego Jurassic World opening at the TELUS World of Science. We'll get an early look Friday morning.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Infill housing is a hot topic in this year's municipal election. In part 3 of our mayoral race breakdown, CTV's Jeremy Thompson takes a look at how each of the candidates plan to tackle the issue and the housing file in general.
It's one thing to talk about density in a growing city. It's another experience entirely when that density casts a literal shadow over your life. As multiplexes and other infill homes take shape in mature neighborhoods, many Edmontonians are pushing back, and the people running for mayor are listening. City Council got an earful from Edmontonians on infill housing this summer. The citywide zoning overhaul that took effect in 2024 allows up to 8 units on most residential lots.
We are sad, we are anxious, stressed, and at times angry, and you don't seem to care.
Tim Cartmel was in chambers during that display. He's now pitching a 40-day infill action plan in his bid to become mayor.
Change the definition of height. We will redefine setbacks. We will maximize the number of units on a typical city lot at 4. We will talk about parking requirements. We will talk about trash requirements. We will talk about the requirement to engage with the community.
Cartmel decided to stick to his vacation plans when that hearing ran long, missing a vote that could have capped the mid-block maximum to 6 units. Now he wants voters to know he's committed to reining in disruptions to daily life.
We're going to talk about the cumulative effect on a neighborhood of construction, of neighborhood renewal, of bike lanes, of infill. And when a neighborhood has had too many of those things in too short a time, we're going to stop it for a while.
We're seeing these big, huge monstrosities being put up. And it really boils down to growing tomatoes, you know?
Big shadows and maintaining neighborhood character are concerns Omar Mohammed hears about in central areas. Instead of disturbing mature communities with multiplexes, he'd like to see a greater focus on developing Blatchford.
Urban sprawl is not going to be the answer here. We don't have the money. We've got the land, but we don't have the money to build that. So increased density is going to be the natural result.
Some of these homeowners, this was their nest egg. This was their investment, and their value has dropped as a result. No one's going to buy that now.
While none of the candidates believe the current rules for infill are correct, their suggested changes range from small tweaks to a complete overhaul. All 5 candidates say 8 units is too many. Knack and Mohammed support a 6-unit maximum. Walters and Cartmel think 6 is fine, but only on corner lots. Otherwise, they say infill should cap off at 4 units. Raheem Jaffer says the whole residential section of the new zoning bylaw needs to be scrapped.
I think you have no choice given all the bad blood and given how this has been rolled out. Tweaking, I think even though you could move towards that, you almost need a reset to say, you know, we got to stop and start over because this should have never happened to begin with.
Jaffer joins Cartmel and Mohammed in calling for parking requirements on infill projects, though they differ slightly on the proper ratio. Cartmel plans to form citizen action groups for council to consult on all things infill, while Knack wants to expand the infill compliance team to hold rule-breaking builders to account. Michael Walters says a city catalog of approved infill floor plans and designs is worth exploring. In fact, every candidate wants infill to look nicer.
We've decided to mostly attempt to solve housing supply shortage by reinventing mature neighborhoods, which has really broken public trust.
Walters wants to shift the city's housing focus to redeveloping areas like the exhibition lands where the Coliseum will soon be demolished. He also wants to speed up building in Blatchford by selling land to developers.
My goal is that at the end of the next 4 years, people stop rolling their eyes about Blatchford and start to speak proudly about it.
Andrew Knack believes infill addresses population loss in mature neighborhoods, helps with strained city finances, and brings down the cost of housing by adding to the supply.
We need to be thoughtful about it, but we also need to make sure we're not going backwards.
because Edmonton is still the most affordable major city in Canada. This is one of the few major cities where if you are younger, you at least have a chance to get a home.
Knack says he's learned from Infill growing pains this term. He wants to see how Edmontonians respond to recent adjustments.
We finally have a program called the Construction Accountability Program, which allows the city to go as far as actually revoking the business license of a builder who is not following the rules.
The outgoing council did make some adjustments to infill rules at the tail end of the term, shrinking the maximum footprint, which could encourage parking space. Fewer side entrances are now allowed, and council added some design rules to make infills more appealing from the street. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Sunshine, mid-20 or mid-teens for a daytime high today. We'll be near 20 tomorrow. See sunshine in the morning. Nice kick of some warm air out ahead of that low pressure system for tomorrow afternoon. And then as this low moves off to the northeast, two things are going to happen. You're going to see some showers out ahead of this, and then some colder air getting wrapped in behind, and probably some fairly gusty wind. I think wind will be gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour Saturday and Sunday in the Edmonton area. Best chance for showers comes midday Saturday, and then there's a slight chance of flurries for Saturday night and again on Sunday, but really looks like the bulk of the snow is going to be off into western sections of the province. This will be the big story on Sunday. Cold air rolling in from the north. So here was today. Watch the Reds pop back up on the map tomorrow, up around 20 for a high. There's your cool down back to about 10 degrees on Saturday and single-digit daytime highs. Sunday, Monday, it does look like temperatures are going to start to rebound, though, by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. 2 degrees in Edmonton tomorrow morning, a degree or two below zero off to the north. Peace River a little cooler at -4. Shouldn't see daytime highs close to 20 with sunshine across most of the province. The exception, high level at 14 degrees tomorrow, 18 for Lloydminster and Jasper and Red Deer. Sunshine and 20 here in the city. 2 degrees in the morning, sunny, 20 degrees, and light wind tomorrow afternoon. Then it gets gusty for the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies for both Saturday and Sunday. Chance of showers on Saturday, and then a slight chance of a few flurries, but probably no accumulating snow in and around the Edmonton area on Saturday, Sunday. The big story is going to be that drop in temperature. 10 degrees Saturday, just 3 on Sunday, 4 degrees for Thanksgiving Monday. And then a little rebound next week puts us back into the 10 to 15 degree range for the middle to the end of next week. That is your forecast.
The Blue Jays are moving on after defeating the Yankees 5-2 last night. Fans relishing the win and looking ahead to the American League Championship Series for the first time in a decade. CTV's Raheem Ladani has more.
Bedazzled in blue, Jays fans are embracing every moment of Toronto's postseason push.
It's great for the city, it's great for the economy, and it pulls the country together.
For the first time since 2016, the Jays are heading back to the American League Championship Series.
It's the team of destiny. I'm inspired.
I have been a fan since day one. I was in '93. I was here when we won the World Series, so this is very exciting for me.
Start spreading the news.
In the Bronx, the teams popped bottles of champagne after eliminating the New York Yankees from the postseason. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The Yankee lose.
Taunted, tortured Yankees fans Wednesday night.
I'd like to show you one of my prized possessions.
Watching it all unfold from her home was 88-year-old Joyce Zweig.
Well, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Zweig and her family have been to every Jays home opener since the inaugural one at Exhibition Stadium back in 1977.
I did not believe that we really were going to have a major league team in Toronto. It was a terrible day. It was cold, it was snowy.
Even as a lifelong fan, though, Zweig wasn't able to snag a seat for the upcoming ALCS home games. And she isn't the only one struggling to access tickets.
50,000th in line, have a couple windows open for Game 7, Game 1, and thankfully I scored one ticket for Game 7, like right up high.
The Jays still don't know if they'll face the Detroit Tigers or Seattle Mariners in the next round. But inside the Jays shop, fans buying merchandise have high expectations.
Add it to the collection, collect them as we go, and the next one will be a World Series one, hopefully.
as the Jays are 4 wins away from appearing in the World Series.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
And that is all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for staying up late with us. For all the latest news, you can head to our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. We will see you back here tomorrow. Good night.